Hello, this is the BBC News with Fiona MacDonald. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said the evidence from Russia and Ukraine points towards President Vladimir Putin planning what could be the biggest war in Europe since 1945. Speaking to the BBC on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference, Mr Johnson said all the signs indicated that the Russian leader's plan had, in some senses, already begun.
You're looking at not just an invasion through the east, through the Donbass, but according to the intelligence that we're seeing, coming down from the north, down from Belarus and actually encircling Kiev itself. And, you know, I think people need to understand the sheer cost in human life that could entail.
However, Germany's foreign minister warned leaders at the conference against trying to guess President Putin's intentions. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said it was difficult for him to judge the US intelligence behind the warnings. International monitors in the Donbass region of eastern Ukraine say a third day of clashes between the Ukrainian military and Russian-backed separatists had been dramatic. 2 Ukrainian soldiers were killed on Saturday, and the separatists in Donetsk and Luhansk have ordered a full military mobilisation. More details from Paul Adams.
There have been ceasefire violations on a scale we haven't seen in recent years. When Ukraine's Interior Minister was down on that border with a visiting group of journalists earlier today, their convoy came under shell fire and they had to take cover in a bomb shelter. So there is a real sense that border area where there has been a war going on for 8 years, but mostly at a pretty low level, is definitely heating up.
The interim police chief in Ottawa, Steve Bell, has said significant progress has been made in clearing unlawful protests from the streets of the Canadian capital, but the operation is not over yet. He defended the police use of pepper spray and stun grenades, saying they had faced aggressive resistance from protesting truck drivers outside the federal parliament. Mr Bell reiterated that the police were committed to ending the demonstrations.
I cannot overstate. We are in this until it is over. Every one of our police agency partners has indicated their continued and ongoing support to work with us to finish this unlawful occupation. And that's why I implore all the protesters who remain there, go home. This occupation is now over. We will continue with our mission until it is complete.
French prosecutors are investigating the death of the modelling agent Jean-Luc Brunel, who was found hanged in his prison cell on Saturday. He'd been an associate of the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, who also hanged himself in jail. Brunel was arrested in 2020 and charged with rape. World News from the BBC. Saudi Arabia's foreign minister has told Lebanon to prove it's serious about internal reform if it's to get international financial help. Speaking at the Munich Security Conference, Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud said that the country should begin by saving itself before looking to others. Lebanon's economy has nosedived over the last 2 years. Rescue teams have continued to work in the Brazilian city of Petropolis, which was devastated by flash floods and mudslides on Tuesday. 146 people are now known to have died, and almost 200 have been reported as missing. Our Americas editor Leonardo Rocha reports.
The emergency services were forced to suspend their work several times during the day because of torrential rains that continue to fall in the mountainous area in Rio de Janeiro state. There are real concerns about the possibility of new landslides on the steep hills that surround the city centre, where most of the poor population lives. The authorities say there's little hope of finding anyone alive under the rubble and the mud that covered most of Petropolis 4 days ago. On Thursday, President Jair Bolsonaro announced the release of emergency funds after flying over the city in a helicopter.
Algeria's defence ministry has said its troops have killed 7 suspected militants during a security operation in the north of the country. The shootings happened in forests in Kollo district. Despite the signing of a peace and reconciliation charter with armed groups in 2005, attacks on security forces have continued. It's the last day of the Beijing Winter Olympics on Sunday, with the final of the men's ice hockey among the highlights. The Russian Olympic Committee team are hotly tipped to successfully defend their gold medal win from 4 years ago. They'll be taking on Finland. In curling, Great Britain have their last chance of taking a gold medal when they compete against Japan. BBC News.